Alright, we are live. This is MTG Nexus coming at you with a user voted on deck. We are playing some Gruul Incinerator Burn tonight, at least a couple matches before it's time to say adieu. This is kind of where I left off with the Incinerator list. Probably about a month and a half, 2 months ago, I think was the last time we picked this particular version up. Way back when we were playing the Gruul version, primarily because Poseidon had kind of convinced even me a little bit that Klothys was a very good mid to late game card against a lot of these like grindy Uro piles and such, and kind of this deck was born out of the necessity of trying to fix the mana a little bit, trying not to fight with our mana to be able to cast our spells. So on that end, we were playing a more green-based main deck with only a Tarkus command, kind of taking the place of Boros Charm, which was kind of the only white card left in the main deck of the original Incinerator builds. Obviously, you need to leverage Riftbolt and Seal of Fire to fight, to get Incinerator in play on turn 2, along with, a Lightning Bolt, a Lava Spike, or a Skewer the Critics. So unlike the Boros versions that I've been running in with Vortex and such, this version is instead running, the full 3-drop spells, which we're hoping to cast for 1 mana, obviously. We're running with a 4 Swift Spear, 4 Goblin Guide, 4 Eidolon package, nothing too fancy there. No Bone Crusher Giants or any of that kind of shenanigans that I've been toying with in the Vortex versions. And then we're running a Tarkus command as our anti-life gain measure. Obviously, there's, you can run Vortex now, you can run Skullcrack, and when you're splashing green, or in this case, green is the primary color, outside of red, could run a Tarkus command with all of its modes, etc. Sideboard, 4 copies of Relic of Progenitus. I've been really impressed with this card against a lot of different decks, whether it be Jund, whether it be Lurrus Jund, whether it be Red-Black on Earth, whether it be Uro piles, etc. Just the ability to stop kind of the graveyard mid-range plans that a lot of decks have. Klothys, this is kind of a holdover from the old lists. I'm not sure if it's even good in the format right now. The format's kind of sped up a little bit. There's some more Death Shadows running around with Scourge of the Sky Scourge, whatever the heck it is. So that's kind of going on right there. 4 copies of D-Rev, kind of nice to have your Shatter effect that can blow up enchantments as well. There's been a little bit of uptick in Bogles, at least the last couple leagues I've played, so nice to have that. Then 4 copies, back to the full 4 copies of Path to Exile. I'm really tired of not being able to kill Death Shadows, and burn spells just don't cut the mustard in that regard. So the lone white card we were playing in our deck, along with the Sacred Foundry being moved to the main deck for a 20th land, instead of screwing around with it in the sideboard. So we're back to 20 lands, and everything else in the main deck's kind of a 4 of. The sideboard, we're kind of taking the tech from, some regards to what Hayashi's been doing with the 4-4-4-3 sideboard plan. Obviously, Klothys being the least impactful of the cards we're doing, so see what happens. Obviously, against the blue decks, you're going to want to side out Incinerators, so this does allow you to side in the 3 Klothys and the 4 Relics. So you can take out the 4 Incinerators and some other combination of cards, usually Seal of Fires, as they are a little low impact. That said, let's get into some matches, see how many we can get to. I am a little bit tired. I've been up since kind of early this morning, and I got on a little bit later than I intended to, but we shall see how this goes. Hope everybody is having a good evening wherever you are. Good morning wherever it is. If you're seeing this later on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you're watching this back later on Twitch and you have a Twitch Prime, please consider subscribing to the channel. It's a little different. First time I've had it up on my new TV. Gotcha. How's it looking? Am I as scary in person as you imagine? How are you doing tonight, War Dog? I don't know that I'm going to be going that long tonight, but I do need to get back into the habit of streaming a little bit more. So been kind of stretched thin with stuff going on, so decided to kind of scale back on the magic content to just the core burn stuff at this point. I like historic, I like standard, but standard is just a complete crap show right now until Wizards gets their stuff together. And I wanted to get back in the World of Warcraft, so we're up against Aluris of the Dream Den deck, and we are on the draw. I still think this hand's pretty reasonable. We're either up against a mirror match or against red-black prowess. Looks like a mirror match. Could still be red-black, I suppose. So we'll know here in a sec. Ooh. Maybe we're up against Zoo. Interesting. Looks like we're up against the Death Shadow variant, which is going to be a little rough. They do play some number of mutagenics, so I don't know if I should try to bolt or try to seal. Rakdos Waste Not. Weren't you working on Dimir Prowess last week? How'd that go? Of course, they have the mutagenic. They could also be the Gruul version that's running. Nope, they're definitely the Scourge of the Sky, whatever version. You'll have to have ship me a list. I'm actually kind of interested in that. Why would they take Eidolon? I don't know. Alright, let me pull up that list. Believe I can fly. See, Hayashi's getting back on the train. Looks like we have some work to do if we're trying to catch the old trophy leader. Start by casting Seal. Can we kill your dude? Yes. So we'll see if you have a Scourge of the Sky clone, whatever I'm going to call it. Crash through. Yeah, sure. One of my projects is definitely, once I kind of get the burn stuff stabilized, I'm going to go back to working on that Shardless Sultai list. But it is going to be a minute or two. Problem with this list is if it's a Death Shadow variant, like they could easily deploy a Death Shadow here. But the thing I noticed is when I was doing the more scattered content, like I got more views overall, but like most of the views had significantly less, or most of the videos had significantly less views than the normal burn and modern content. So it was kind of like, you know, it was all right, but it was like not fantastic, so to speak. That's fine, man. I just said I wanted to look at it. I'm not going to, like, critique it or anything major, so. Is there putting out a Scourge? Nope. Soul Scar Mage. Okay. Presume they have to block here, right? Dismember? Cling to dust, targeting Eidolon. So they go to 11. Back to 9. Do I have any reason to actually do anything here? Guess we skewer, put them to 6, and then they can't kill me with just Death Shadow. But that does shut off our land, potentially. That's awkward. Guess we block. Feels like they might have something here. Just stone cold bluff. What could they have that they didn't put Luris in their hand? Like, what are they sitting on that they didn't put Luris in their hand? Assassin's Trophy? Okay, so there's a lot of things that kill us here. Yeah, I'm still using the mtgotavern email. Do you have the kill spell? Or the bolt? You have yourself a 14/14. Oh, the daggers. Rift Bolt, Rift Bolt, Rift Bolt. Drew the kill, but we took too much damage. Alright, so... Death Shadow, huh? Definitely want the paths. Question is, do we want the incinerators in this matchup? Alright, I knew I'd seen this list somewhere, or a variant of it. No, that's definitely not the list we were looking for. Oh well. Definitely want the paths. Don't know that we want the Clothis or the... Now, the Clothis would be difficult for them to remove if we kill all their creatures, but that's not like a guarantee. Tarka's command out? Question mark. Feels like, honestly, it's an Incinerator matchup out. Just because they have the ability to disrupt our... life total a little bit. Like, they're not particularly... Oh, this is a hand. At least it was pretty well Thoughtseize proof. This hand isn't terribly exciting either, but I do think we keep it. We have access to all of our colors. We have a decent curve, although playing against a grindy deck, we're not exactly favored. Themselves, so they have a fetch land here. Exactly the situation we wanted to be in, but c'est la vie. Kind of in an awkward spot, aren't we? Like, on one hand, we really don't want to lower their life total because they are a Death Shadow deck. On the other hand, like, we don't really have the resources to play a long game, so... I mean, we can sort of, like, deal them damage, but then we just get cracked back for even harder, so we're, like, sitting here going, well? Through 4, 5, 6. Just gonna hope they have nothing. That's a really tall hope. Feels like they might have mutagenic growth and TBR, and they're debating whether they should try to go for the kill. Because it would be exactly lethal. Sure. TBR. Sure. Gotta do this before damage is dealt. Get another mutagenic, then they have us. If not, then we at least live for another turn. No, they actually have the... No, they don't, because they can't control our life total here. So we have exactly one draw step to rip a path, looks like. Oh, they dismember too? That doesn't change the math. I mean, you put me to 2. No kill for you. It's one of the things that makes Death Shadow a tough matchup, especially now that there's effectively 8 variants of Death Shadow running around now. Between the Scourge and the Scourge of the Skyclave, is that the name of the card? Yeah, Scourge of the Skyclaves. So I'd love to play first. Four-lander, can't really keep. Seems okay, but I think we pitch the Incinerator here. It's going to 6 as well. Kind of give away a little bit of what's up here, but at the same time, it's kind of whatever. You better not be playing another Death Shadow variant. Looks like GDS. The one with landfall nonsense. There's a fetch land. Much as I would love to get Eidolon here, I'm just going to kill their 1-drop. Okay, I have no idea what's going on with their opponent's deck, but they do feel like another Death Shadow deck. Unfortunate. Give it a kill spell. So we've effectively learned nothing about our opponent's deck. Cool Hellhound. Okay, there is a Jund Death Shadow variant with it. Ah, it's another Akum Hellhound Death Shadow Monastery Swiss Spear deck. Yay! You can't note the sarcasm, I apologize. Game, we definitely want the Path to Exiles. Incinerators probably can come out on the draw. Leave the Atarka's commands in. Really doesn't feel like a Klothys matchup. what is with the sudden uptick in these Junda Shadow decks tonight. This hand's fine. It's not like super exciting. We have a couple answers in our hand, pretty much. Sure. It does play 4 copies of Mutagenic Growth, which is kind of insane. Looks like they might have one here. Of course they do. Wow. They got Tribal Flames deck too? I guess I don't want to take any chances that they have like any type of counter spells with this. Like a Stubborn Denial, I suppose. So it's gonna do the thing. Okay, Luris. Did they show us Luris last game? Kinda hard to say, right? Again, no reason to play any counter magic right now. They already have 9 damage in hand. Akum, Hellhound. Tarka's Command. That's lethal, right? I guess they could have exactly whatchamacallit, Cling to Dust to keep themselves alive here. Yeah, I should have played around that, but I think with the blue 4 living in this deck, it's up Tavern. Speaking of living and abominations, did you see the one somebody donated, I think, for Fran to play? It was like Living End Dinos or something. I only saw like the first match, and I know Fran was kvetching about it not being remotely competitive. I don't know how it ended up doing, though. But it was using like... I know it was using Rotting Regisaur to discard creatures to bring back with Living In. Francisco something or other. He's the pretty much known as the Titan streamer. FPAW Lusz. He played it terribly. On the play, this is a solid, well, actually very solid burn hand. We're not really having much luck with the Incinerators tonight, but he could have 5-0'd with it? That's kind of insane. I thought it was just a meme. I didn't realize it was actually, could have had a decent result. Definitely keeping this hand. By good burn hands, I mean one-drop creatures dot deck, pretty much. So I guess the question should be asked is, do you feel Jite should have been unbanned? I think, like, I still think they could unban it, but, like, what on earth? We're playing against someone with a main deck Nyx Fleece Ram? What Twilight Zone have we entered? Oh, so that's actually kind of a thing right now? Like, I legit haven't seen Living End in, I don't even know how long. I mean, of course, as a red mage, I'm sitting here going, give me all the Living Ends, but okay, we're up against the Zur deck. Interesting. 1-1 bracket is weird tonight. When did you put that video out? I haven't seen much content coming out from your channel lately. Maybe the notifications got shut off at this point. I don't know. Okay. Is there a way for my Zur opponent to get out of this? I don't know. Because it's been a long time since I've seen a Zur deck. They discard a Zur. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here, War Dog. I'm just... This league's been weird. They got crabs! They got Mr. Krabs! What is going on here? I am confused. Opponent has to do something, so I'm not going to Tarka's command until we see what they do. Because this is just lethal. Okay. I guess we Tarka's command here. Feels like I could be walking right into a counterspell, though. But I guess they're going to have the counterspell regardless next turn up anyway. So... Triggers. Game 3, nothing personal. We have another path, so... Aren't they still dead here? I could be wrong. I think my math could be wrong here, but I think they're still dead. Well, I gave you a follow, Taverns. Next time you're live, I can actually see what's going on, but... Zur the Enchanter. Well... is there a Zur the Enchanter that's done well recently? I don't think so, but we will find out. In a shocking twist of events, there are no Zur the Enchanters that have done well recently. 4D rev out. I don't think this is an Incinerator matchup, seeing blue and white. So Zur the Enchanter is a 1/4. So I might want a couple copies of Path just as a hedge. And shave like a Rift Bolt and a Seal of Fire. Yeah, I can definitely get that line. No, I understand, War Dog. I understand where you're coming from, and these streams are about as much about learning as they are anything else. This hand's kind of but I still think we keep it. Is it crazy? But I think we put back Basic Mountain here. My opponent's going to have a ley line. What a shocker. Maybe. Actually, they're just mulliganing to 5. In some ways, I feel bad for him. But then I remember that I have died to mulligans less than that, so, you know. And we don't exactly have the most aggressive F hands this game, so they might have a chance to recover and get a game 3. I was kind of hoping they were just going to play a Naked Nyx Fleece Ram here. That would have been awesome. Yeah, but like I kind of said, I do really think that creature decks are already struggling in the format with like all of the random like prowess decks and everything else. It's just like, do you really need to add Jite to the mix? That part I don't know. Am I gonna get Kaya's Guiled? Feels like a Kaya's Guile. Wall of Denial. Okay. Does our opponent have some way to make Walls attack? I'm getting a Walls attack here vibe. So I know there's some in green. Is there some in white? That part I don't know. I guess I find out if I die to a bunch of attacking walls. Modern staple, Wall of Denial. Actually, should probably have played a Targus command there. That way, if we draw... Yeah, I feel you. I didn't have Wall of Denial on my to die by bucket list. But by George, we might see it. Curiosity killed the kitty. Death by D-Rev. Dun 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 dun. Actually doesn't... In a format where Death's Shadow is making a comeback, doesn't Living End have a decent shot in that meta, especially against the Gen variants? Or is it just so bad between the Uro piles and the Prowess decks that you just can't really hang in the meta right now? Like, I know as a burn player I actively want to see Living End, but I don't know about like the more creature-based aggro decks. So then what's keeping the deck out of the meta? Is it the blue decks? Well, I know Burn's not a good matchup. I wasn't sure where Prowess fit on that scale. Obviously, Prowess is a little more creature-oriented. Force of Negation? So, awkward. 4 damage. So a turn 3 Incinerator. I still think we keep it, but it's not great. It's gonna do some work. This hand could be really, really awkward. Soul Formation's green. Is there some type of thing that allows walls to attack in white? Oh. Hey, Tavern, your deck's up. One Death Shadow on that, or one Death and Taxes on the house. Let us hope one Shunner's Incinerator is enough, I guess. Hopefully they don't path to exile. What's the second easiest matchup? Oh, Death and Taxes for Living End or Prowess? Or for Burn? If there's a variant of Burn I like against Death and Taxes, it is this variant if they don't have the answer to Incinerator. Ah. Do they have an answer? Guess we'll find out in a second. Of course, they have the path. Now I have to empty my hand. It does not, because it's non-combat damage. Now, if you pair two of them together, it gets really dumb. Even Eidolons become dangerous threats with this card in play. No, it's non-combat damage only to set it up. If creature damage set it up, it would be a lot better card. There would be a lot more decks playing this. I have a feeling I'm about to get ghost quartered into a... Okay. Sure. Dahlia? Okay, none of this really matters in the face of the 6/6. Please draw a spell. Why would they attack here? They had to have drawn Path, right? Or Flicker Wisp, maybe? Maybe a Flicker Wisp. No, it's definitely not a good matchup for Burn. Really, deck? Yeah, I don't like the timing there because if I had an instant speed spell, they would have gotten kind of blown out there. Oh, it was definitely a telegraph of Flicker Wisp. Because I think they just would have pathed it main phase. This is too dangerous a card to let on the board if you can avoid it. It's a really bad matchup for traditional Burn. For Incinerator Burn, the matchup's a little bit closer. Okay. I think if you untap next turn, I'm dead anyway, so... Not sure that the Stoneforge Mystic really mattered much here. Really? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've drawn 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Slightly above average on number of lands here. I swear if you had another Flicker Wisp and you didn't attack last turn. Okay. Already a bad matchup, and when you draw like this, it's even worse. As long as our opponent has half a brain, we're just dead here. Alright, moving on. So we want some number of D-Revs. Probably all of the paths. Ah! Huge tracts of seeing the lands. One might say they're attracted to me. How many destructive revelries do we actually want? 3 to 4 stone forges plus their equipment, plus ether vial. Shave 1 incinerator. Shave 1 lava spike, I guess. What's funny, Tavern, is there's a... Oh, what is that? Can't keep the 5-land hand even against Death and Taxes. This hand's okay. It unfortunately doesn't set up Incinerator particularly well, so I think this is a put Incinerator backhand and hope and pray. There is a gentleman that does... Let's see if I can find it on my YouTube timeline. Keep back Incinerator. Sure, we fetch our white source here, which isn't great, but you know, using stuff. Opponent began the game with 7 cards in hand, so we're in a lot of trouble. Love to draw a D-Rev. Well, Tarkus Command got me excited there for a minute. Problem is we're not really winning a racing situation here. So I think I'm just supposed to fire off Tarkus Command right now, even though it's not like the best value. It's like getting 4 damage. Obviously if we fight or fought could kill a Batter Skull or something would be great with it, but you're following way too many YouTube channels when you can't find like one channel. But there's another commentator on another channel that reminds me of you a little bit. But I forget what channel it is. It's some type of YouTube tools and tricks channel. But the look, or the similarity in look is almost uncanny. Double Giver of Runes. Well, this kind of sucks. Now, a decision must be made. Oh, really? They have Forge Tender, too? Get that crap on out of here. Now they get to double block and kill it. Problem is, I don't know how we win this game. Like, legitimately, I don't. Like, this is why Death and Taxes is just such a bad matchup. Oh, there's one of the various crushes Space Marine had. Oh, there they are. vidIQ. Poor guy. You should seriously go look them up, though. It's quite entertaining. Alright, I'm off this game. This matchup's just abysmal even in the best of times, and when even one of our better draws gets hit by the back end of variance. Try for the 3-2 pity chest here. And we're on the draw. And these are the hands where Incinerator looks really, really medium. I mean, we keep this hand, but Incinerator is already a potential mulligan, depending on how I... Oh, mirror match? Could be a mirror match. What's even creepier is if you listen to some of his videos, they actually sound a little bit alike too. Oh, now we're faced with the rough situation of start by seeing if they have a mutagenic growth or some type of free spell. Did they gut shot themselves? Why did they gut shot themselves? I'm so confused right now. Gotcha. But even the voice sounds like somewhat similar. Light up the stage. Deck really doesn't like me today. Okay, so can deal our opponent 5 and put 1 Incinerator into play. Alternatively, I can skewer one of their idiots. So 3 reduces it by 3. So I would need to cast both spells this turn to play an Incinerator. letting them untap with 2 Soul Scar Mages, even with just 1 card in hand, is terrifying. Fortunately, I think we got to do it. This is kind of one of the situations where Boros Charm would obviously be the superior card, at least towards the game plan we're trying to execute here. Yep, draw cards. They're going to go up to 3 cards here. Metamorphosis would be really bad. Well, Sprite Dragon's not great. Why wouldn't you attack with Sprite Dragon there? If you want to see what this card can do, we're about to show you what this card can do. It's quite disgusting. Block. Nothing. Just show me no respect. You block it with nothing. Nothing. If they blocked and tried a lightning bolt, Atarka's command would have been... It's decent in this deck, but it's not like you saw it there, it's not as powerful as... it's not quite as powerful as Boros Charm in terms of setting up Incinerator or pairing it with Incinerator. The whole point of this version of the deck was to make Klothys easier to cast. Which I don't know if this is a matchup we really want Klothys in again. Targus commands probably come out. We definitely want Paths. Might want some amount of D-Revs. Because we are Burn and not Prowess, so we care a little bit more. Alternatively, I could go on the Klothys plan, but that is a little bit vulnerable to Ether Gust. Might shave some number of Eidolons and bring in the Klothai, just to justify to myself about playing Klothys this league. I'm gonna bring in a couple D-Revs just to hedge against Dragon's Claw. Well, there are. See, that's the thing, is everybody has been so stuck on white being the best color for Burn. You know, Poseidon is one of the guys in the Burn Discord that challenged the thing with, because I really didn't think Incinerator was going to be a particularly good card, but he kind of challenged my opinion on that. This is where Incinerator can get really awkward. Alright, do you have a spell? Alright, we got a Mage on our Girth out of your hand. We traded 1 for 1 and we're not eating that damage on the front end, so I think I'm fine with that. Ish. Kept a 1-lander, which could be good, could be bad. There is a Seal of Fire, so Start by casting Seal of Fire. Target the thing again. So I really don't like dealing myself this much damage, but I think we're going to do it. Then we're going to see if they hit a second land drop this turn or not. Because if they don't, we might just play the Incinerator and go to town. Feels like this is a Lutz turn. Because they had to have kept some way to generate card advantage in this kind of hand. Alright, they miss on a land. So, much as I would love to kill... As much as I would love to kill Swiftspear here, gotta take the opportunity to get this guy down, because if they can't answer it, it's just lights out really, really quickly. And the concession. Nice. So... what did we play against? We played against Death Shadow Aggro, Death and Taxes, Izzet Prowess, and what was the other match in the middle there? The wall deck that we weren't quite sure what the heck they were doing. So... I don't know where Incinerator fits against Death Shadow. That's like the one of the decks that I'm not like sure if Incinerator is good against Death Shadow variants or bad. Obviously against Death and Taxes and Prowess, it's a very good card. Against the wall deck, who knows? And then, or the enchantment wall deck, whatever was going on there. And then Death and Taxes, if they don't have the answers, it can dominate the battlefield. But then again, this is Death and Taxes we're talking about. They have Path to Exiles. They could have Celestial Purges. They have Burrington Forge Tenders, which Incinerator doesn't particularly care about, but just kind of trample on over. But I still stand by the fact that the green main is fine. It's not... Boros Charm and Atarka's Command both have situations where they're situationally strong. Having access to Destructive Revelry over Smash and Wear Tear feels nice. Klothys is the one card that it's like... That's the main reason we're originally splashing the green, but I don't know that Klothys does what we want Klothys to do. I honestly think it might just be Vortex. Like, Vortex doesn't pair well with Incinerator, but it might just be Vortex that we're supposed to be putting in that sideboard slot. And then am I fine with a green splash for a Atarka's Command and D-Rev? I think I am. Especially with Path only being my only white card. Could be something to test out next time. Although it does not play well with Incinerator, which Klothys actually does. Hey, War Dog, thanks. But I don't know that Klothys is good in the current meta. The meta is so all over the place. Like, it's good against Jund, it's good against like some of those piles, but it's not particularly good against the decks that we saw tonight. So, something to consider moving forward. Incinerator, as long as you evade Uro piles, is a fine card. But awkward still. Like, it's powerful, but awkward. So, that's about all I got on tonight. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, please consider giving us a follow here on Twitch, a subscribe over on YouTube if you're catching it on YouTube later. And if you happen to have a Twitch Prime and don't have someone you'd like to give it to, please consider giving it to this channel. And beyond that, thanks to Tavern and War Dog for hanging out tonight. And everybody else that's been hanging out in chat, doesn't like to talk. Thanks for your presence as well. This has been John for MTG Nexus. And if you happen to like modern content, go check out cardmarket.com. MTG Tavern does a lot of work over there. So check out his content over there. Everybody have a good night.